And we are live. And I got to throw Amber back in here. There we go. All right, we are live now. I don't know what we're talking about. People are supposed to be here and they're not, so we'll let Larry talk for a while. There we go.
Listen, y'all are not going to believe what's going on in South Carolina. I have a family in South Carolina where the DSS lawyer put a police officer on the stand that's not even a police officer.
Oh, it gets better. He told me a little bit about this.
All right. Tiffany's been following this case for me for what, Tiff, 2 years? And she's a good mother, good father. But because South Carolina is so corrupt, I can't believe it. And they talk about Donald Trump. Seriously.
But Donald Trump's winning in the polls. There's a big difference between them and Donald Trump.
Look, 45 is about to be 47. But like I was talking to Don this morning, guys, where is the means to the end? When are we going to get someplace where...
I offered to bring him on the show, and he doesn't want to do it.
Who, no. Don?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's trying to get me 2026. He's running for sheriff, and I'm running for his undersheriff. But no, where and when is a means to an end with these people?
We just got to keep fighting.
I mean, you guys are making great strides in Virginia. But South Carolina is like a black hole. Nothing, no matter what you do in South Carolina, you cannot get any help.
That's the same thing with West Virginia and Indiana. And, well,
look.
I have Alaska's number, so I'm not really worried there.
Listen, let's not even talk about Indiana. I just got done reading the article where they've taken the funding away from these parents that take care of their children.
That's Indiana, yep.
And Holcomb is doing nothing about it, but all of a sudden, there's $1 billion missing.
Yeah, they're trying to do that here in Virginia too. If their Medicaid waiver, they're trying to take the money from the parents that are actually staying home watching the kids.
Okay,
let me get Tiffany heated. They're trying to make abortion illegal in Alaska.
Spanny, you know that's not fair because you know I can't like go take my medication for this.
Listen. Listen. Yeah, please don't get Tiffany upset.
Yeah, but not today.
You know, when Tiffany gets upset, sometimes her address changes because she go down to government buildings and cause a ruckus.
Oh, I'm aware. But yeah, that was yesterday's news article.
Wow. I just think people just need to start moving to different states.
But where are they going?
I mean, I don't know. Me. And the only reason that these states are really trying to ban abortion is because they want the money for these children, right? Because we all know that there's safe haven laws. And the minute those children are placed in safe haven, it doesn't take but 90 days or less for them to be adopted. It's all about the money.
Well, what about this safe baby court?
You want to say hi? Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, go. Okay, go outside and crack it.
So what about this safe baby court?
Mm. It's that's just another way to make money, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're getting away with it in Indiana, and I'm starting to see a lot of states
Okay, stop.
I don't
doing
know.
safe baby court. I'm trying to fix my chair. Oh, there we go. Uh-oh, somebody's getting cussed out.
No, that was yesterday.
So,
That was totally yesterday.
how many people are in here right now?
That one number. 3.5, 4.
Oh, I'm
Oh, there's Amber.
sorry. I literally went out to the car to literally try to get on the internet. And the minute I walked out, the internet goes, it doesn't like you.
Mm-hmm.
Amber, what state are you in?
It's confidential per the Attorney General. I'm under address confidentiality.
I'll just private message you.
Okay.
No, you just look so familiar.
Yes, safe baby court is a way to get you in and out of court. It's fast track for TPR.
Yeah,
Yep.
but not in South Carolina. That's the fast track to TPR.
They also call it fit court in some states. Those of you that don't know what we're talking about.
But my thing is, who can read who you are on paper, right? Because I'm going to tell you, if you look at me on paper, it looks like I sling dope out my front door as many times the police been here, okay? I'm just being real. But we don't do that, right? So on paper, I look like this horrible person, but these people don't know me. They don't know if I'm fit or not. They never had a conversation with me. Well, where I wasn't threatening to sue them, but you can't tell what type of person I am on a piece of paper or somebody else telling my story because only you can tell your story.
Yep.
Hey, by the way, hey Jessica. But
Oh, and you never gave me our South Carolina ladies name to fully add to groups.
Oh,
You
I'll
only give
send-
me a first name.
I'll send you all of that. Actually, I invited her into the group.
Yeah, I haven't got anything. 1 second, guys.
Lawrence County, South Carolina is crooked as all get out.
Where in South Carolina is crooked?
Hello.
Lawrence County.
Where is that
Okay.
in relation to like?
All right, bye-bye. Lawrence County was where the first Ku Klux Klan museum anywhere in the world was put. There's a movie on Netflix called Burden with Forrest Whitaker, and they get away with anything and everything. You literally have DSS lawyers committing perjury. And I
They
can
commit
prove
perjury
it.
everywhere.
But what up? They rewrite orders
Yeah.
I have
and
one
nothing
client being.
happens.
I
I'm
have
sure
one
they
client.
destroy motions about 150 pages.
I've had a lawyer tell me that the lawyers and the judges are terrified of this DSS lawyer. Guys, I'll be right back. I gotta go take care of something. Be right back.
It is bad down there. It is bad. It's so
I
bad.
have.
Go ahead.
Hopefully, you don't get heated on this one. I have a case where they're forcing the mom to take another hair follicle, even though her first follicle came back just fine, because their court date is in April, the beginning of April.
So why do they want another hair follicle? Is it really going to be her hair that they test?
Right? I'm wondering that too, because the first one, supposedly that she was doing all these drugs, and I've known this lady for a long time. She's never touched a drug in her life. And then supposedly the kid was taken for that reason, and he was not removed for that reason.
What? That doesn't
Yeah,
even make sense.
Yeah. The caseworker is now saying, well, your child was removed for the fact that you tested positive for drugs. No, he was removed because you guys thought he was homeless in a tent in the middle of tourist season.
First off, let me just throw this one out there. Aren't they getting the federal funding to make sure people stay off the damn streets? And like these people that are homeless, aren't they
Not in
supposed to be
Alaska.
providing resources for them so they're not fucking homeless? Like, I'm just gonna
Not in
pass that
Alaska.
one.
Not in Alaska.
So wouldn't that be the IRS? Wouldn't that be like tax fraud? Like, I'm just asking for a friend. Like, wouldn't that be like misappropriations of federal funding? Again, for a friend.
Oh, they do it in part of Alaska, but they won't do it in all of Alaska. There you go.
Well, that doesn't even make sense. It's for the whole damn state, not just for parts of the state.
It's for the whole damn country that those federal funds are going through. I mean, has anybody, just throwing this out there too, is anybody aware that VAWA is supposed to have domestic violence prosecutors in every state and every county? And so, like, these domestic violence cases in these counties are supposed to have a VAWA domestic violence prosecutor. I believe North Carolina has it deemed under the Governor's Commission, Crime Commission. But, you know, when you ask for a friend, you know, if these people actually exist, it just makes me wonder if they truly exist or not, because I haven't found one yet in some of these cases.
Okay.
Oregon has one.
So, first of all,
I know Oregon has one. My mom just got a protection order because my stepdad or ex-stepfather is trying to kill her again. You know.
So, okay. First of all, there's nowhere in the law that says you have to live in a brick and mortar house. Okay. Shelter. Shelter could be anything. Kids, this is what the law says: food, clothes, and shelter. Okay. You can go to the Goodwill to get clothes. You can go to the food bank to get food, and you can live in a tent, a car, whatever the case may be, because nobody ever has said you have to live in a brick and mortar to have children.
Isn't there a Supreme Court case that references that?
If there is, I'll have to find it.
There's also a federal law that does that. It's okay. I did my special little polite email where I added in all of the federal laws, all of the federal kinship laws, and even the intervene motion. I was sweet and
I'm
innocent.
still laughing at your lovely email from earlier this week. That made my day.
I was polite.
Well,
Everybody kept their head for now.
I'm really curious to find out why they want to do another hair follicle, because
That's literally what she said.
right, this lady just said that she had 3, right?
Mhm.
So if your hair is coming back clean, why do they need another one if they're not going to switch it with somebody else's hair that they know is dirty?
My other question is, in one of the cases that I've had down where I'm at with Families United, they did the hair follicle thing, but the judge on the bench made it very clear to ask several times if you dye your hair. And she stated that when you dye your hair, you get false positives for things. So it makes you wonder, like, If somebody dyes their hair,
if you also dye your hair a certain way, they can't do any testing on your hair follicle because it'll just, it's damaged.
right.
It's the ammonia in the hair dye. It screws with the
Right.
testing.
Yep. And so the mother in the situation who had obstructed justice over temporary guardianship and kinship care to a family that had kinship care for like 5 years, and then she wanted to come back in and be ridiculous, ended up basically going, oh, well, I dye my hair. And the judge is like, it doesn't look like you've dyed your hair in like 10 years. So I don't know. Like, I find that obscure because it makes you wonder if you pop negative once, you dyed your hair blonde, you did something, now it's popping positive. I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know, because my shit's bleach blonde. Because I dye my hair, but I also don't do drugs. And if any drugs ever came back in my system, I would challenge that because I don't use any kind of. Well, let me take that back. I'm a nicotine and I'm a coffee drinker. So that's what they're gonna find in mine.
And a CBD gummy person.
Yes, but they have no way of testing for CBD. There's no test for CBD. In fact, they give you CBD if you overdose on weed, because there is a such thing as a weed overdose. It just makes you throw up. They give you CBD to counteract it. It's called a green out.
Oh, and don't forget, if you're in the hospital and you have an epidural and you give birth, that has actually drugs in it. That
Fentanyl for one.
Yeah.
Fentanyl.
So if they use your drug test on you in the hospital after you give birth, you're going to test positive.
Yep.
Where did Larry go?
I don't know. He had to go take care of something. Yeah, it seems to be meth, heroin, and some other drug that's popular now that they're saying that everybody's using. I don't know.
Fentanyl.
Yeah, fentanyl. There it is. But you're right. Fentanyl is in epidurals.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know any of that until we had to go digging through all those cases.
Welcome to a life. It's our life. It's an educational process. You learn things you didn't want to know ever.
Right. It's crazy.
I also find it funny. Somebody made a comment earlier this week, and I've had a lot of triaging the damage to this, and Spanny can attest to this. Whoever said you can't go Supreme Court and go federal at the same time needs to really look into their own freaking knowledge of the laws, because there is no statute.
I get yelled at because supposedly you can't go through appeals court and go to Supreme Court at the same time. And you can. You just have to have certain amount of errors in your case.
You have to have, didn't you say it was 5?
Yeah, at least 5. And if you're really lucky, you can have 2 really, really damning ones, and they'll pass you through 2. But the number one thing that gets everybody's appeals denied is the fact you guys don't use the Constitution in your appeals.
Yeah.
And something else here in Virginia, I've been noticing a lot with termination cases here. The biggest reason they cannot appeal their terminations is because they never inserted their parental rights. Not one of them.
Yeah, and that's another big thing. If you guys use those federal laws that I gave you, and they're everywhere, they're really easy to get. And if you need them, just message me. I have them. So
There's one federal law, and I've learned this in the last 2 weeks. It's become one of my favorites. I just haven't figured out how to use it yet. So, protection orders, right? They're valid in all 50 states. It states on the protection orders the jurisdiction that issued them as the primary jurisdiction. Well, there's a federal law, and I'll have to put it back later. It's interstate intentional domestic violence. So if you are a victim of domestic violence and God forbid you flee to Alaska for your safety, that is a federal offense because you pushed the person that you so abused to have to flee for their safety. That is a federal crime. It's actually under the federal laws as intentional and willful violence of the domestic violence protective order at a federal level, which from what I read is where you can pull U.S. Marshals into this. However.com, my question is, what happens when you have like multiple states involved and you can't use your resources? So you're just sitting there because the lower ending cops aren't going to fucking file shit. Well, this is where VAWA comes in. And so that goes back to the domestic violence prosecutors that are required to be assigned. But how do you find them?
Are you talking about domestic violence when the Gestapo takes your children? Or just domestic violence, period?
Domestic violence, period. So in a lot of these CPS cases, a lot of these convicted abusers are then using the system to kidnap the kids against protection orders. And then it's leaving people, like I've currently got a case right now out of Pennsylvania that goes to New Jersey, Rhode Island, and all the way down to Florida. Well, the mom is in Florida. And she had no choice but to go to Florida. She was never offered address confidentiality in the state she was in. She had the father use the state in which he moved into, but never had jurisdiction of the case. And she had active protective orders in Florida, took her kids down there, and then they were like, you can't do that. Well, actually, it states it that you can. So now she's had to go all the way back up the Northeast coast to basically reclaim her kids because she's literally sitting here with active protective orders. The dad is in jail. He's in like federal prison. And somehow they maneuvered the system in Pennsylvania to give the dad custody while he's in prison.
Are you kidding me?
No.
How?
Because the attorney went in front of the court and changed everything without her being there. I've also seen where protective orders are established in one state. The police go to get the kids, and the person that has the kids is refusing to turn the kids over. So when they're refusing to turn the kids over, the law enforcement officers in that county or city are not enforcing the protection order, and they're leaving the house without the kids. And then these people are coming back and dropping these orders without the proper hearings.
That
And then
doesn't
it's
even make sense.
I know, but it's happened.
No. I believe you. What I'm saying is that doesn't even make sense. You have to make it make sense.
But they aren't making it
You-
make sense.
How?
Like
How?
I said, they're not making it make
Oh, okay.
sense. And then when you go to them and you're like, on this, it states protective orders are valid in all 50 states. X is here plus Y is here equals Z. They don't know what to do because they're involved in it, and so now you have no option, and you're supposed to be able to go to the DOJ and have a federal VAWA prosecutor step in and the U.S. Marshals, but they're not.
So they're not doing their jobs, or they're just not trained on how to do their jobs, because I've been finding that a lot lately. They don't even know the laws they're supposed to be protecting, right? So everything has to change. Everything.
Right, but I can tell you, Spanny can tell you, I think I've talked to at least 50 parents this past 2 weeks, and all the stories are the same.
They're always going to be the same.
Well,
Right.
Amber, I've been saying that, not to cut you off. I've been saying that for the last 4 years. How can a family in Louisiana have the same story as the family in California, and they don't know each other. Why? Because if you look at the DSS guidelines, it's cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Tiffany figured that out. It's all the same, just they're
Right,
changing
Papa.
the wording.
Mm-hmm.
So then my question is to you is how do you get somebody to enforce something that they either don't know the laws, or how do you get the people to move in the direction that takes these kids out of reckless endangerment?
We have to wait for Chevron to be overturned.
Once Chevron's overturned, these lower courts, they're screwed.
Yeah, they're done.
Or they're paid to overlook it, just like Jessica said.
Well, they might, right. They are paid to overlook a lot of stuff. And we all know that. We all know that. But if Chevron gets overturned, these lower courts and these judges are going to have no choice but to follow the laws.
And when is that expected to be potentially overturned?
Within
I
the
heard
next
by
couple of
June.
months.
By June. I'll tell you what, this, Spanny, when did you call me with Roe v. Wade?
The day it got overturned.
Whatever
morning?
day that was? Yeah. Because that was their last case before they went for summer vacation.
So then my question is, what are they going to do to fix, not only fix it, but like what, I can't even think of the word, reparations? I think that's, there you go. Are they going to do to these hundreds of thousands of families that they've left in this freaking boat? I'm sorry. I'm sorry is not going to work. I mean, there are so many families that have committed suicide. There are so many kids that have lost their lives.
It's heartbreaking.
Listen, did you guys see the lady in North Carolina? It's a documentary on Hulu, where she had an underground railroad.
No.
There's a whole documentary.
I reserve to comment on Underground Railroad for safety reasons.
Just leave the fence, Fanny.
Oh my God.
That's
I mean,
that's where I'm leaving that.
and then my other question is this loophole thing. So you have the Constitution, you have somebody fuck up, so somebody high up in the politician world basically gets a loophole, but it's not a loophole law. It's basically written in their opinion of the court cases. Like, for example, North Carolina, we'll bring back to there, has something called Stumbo's Law. And Stumbo's Law is what they redefined as child neglect or child cases, where in the Stumbo's case, they had a kid that was out free walking the streets, I think, for like 2+ hours. Now, this family went through hell and back, but they ended up changing the law to deem that, like, if that were to happen, that's not neglect. And so I think the other issue that I'm seeing, like going through these case laws from the loophole aspect, is it almost seems like a similar playbook under the Interstate Compact, which to me, most of these cases are kind of coming out of, is they're transitioning these kids to other states. You know, I think Virginia has well over 70,000 foster care kids. And I think it's in the hundreds of thousands that they just put out.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and I can't think of her last name. She does Parent Team 6, will tell you. Like, yeah, they literally, like, these kids are being taken from schools.
Mm-hmm.
And these parents are finally getting their rights back, you know, getting granted through the Supreme Court or whatever ways they need to be. And there's a couple families in the Southwest that literally, even in Virginia too, they can't locate their kids.
Well, I want to touch on the school thing. So kids really and parents really need to do this for the upcoming school year. I've already done it. I'm getting ready to do it for my other grandson. And what it basically says is that nobody, under any circumstances, unless it has to do with education, can talk to your child without you being present. Right?
Is there a template that you have for that? Because I suggest maybe putting a template out there so people can, like, just run with it.
Well, I can tell you what to say. What I say is under the 4th Amendment, right? Under the 5th Amendment, the 6th Amendment, the 7th Amendment, and the 14th Amendment, these are all rights that I am invoking as the parent / guardian of said child, and I put his name on there. Nobody, and I went down the whole list, CPS, the principal, the guidance counselor, the school nurse, the police, no one under any circumstance can speak to him without me or a lawyer present, because it is a violation of said rights under the Constitution of the United States. If you do not abide by this, I will see you in a federal court under US 42, 1983. You do not have immunity.
Well,
You have it notarized and you submit it to everybody.
I added one more thing to mine. Exactly what you told me to write.
Yep.
The 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 14th. And if any of these rights are violated, I will exercise my right of the 2nd Amendment.
I didn't do that one.
What?
Come on.
I did. I put that. I will exercise my rights of the 2nd Amendment.
Okay, but hold on, Larry, stop. So I want everybody to be clear about the 2nd Amendment. Everybody automatically goes to guns. That is not what it means.
No.
The right to bear arms means anything you can carry. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. A wrench, a hammer, a 2x4, broom. It doesn't matter.
Cat. Yes, cat. You can carry a cat.
Dogs. Rats. They got teeth. So that's what people need to be doing, because without an order or without you protecting your child or your grandkids or whoever, these people can walk in and talk to them at any time. And for me, they say they don't interrogate them, but they interrogate them, and the police aren't allowed to interrogate anybody under the age of 18 in this state without a parent. So no, if it does not have to do with education, you do not need to talk to him. It doesn't matter what's going on in my house. You're violating my 4th Amendment right. He doesn't know to shut the fuck up because he doesn't know he has the right to shut up. But I'm telling you he does, and you better not violate it.
Listen, I just got breaking news that the Supreme Court debate whether the White House crosses the First Amendment line on social media disinformation, because y'all know that they're trying to shut down TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I saw that.
It's not going to happen.
The House approved it.
So
Yeah.
some multi-billionaires trying to buy it now. It's a money game.
We the people.
The Second Amendment is just a protection or rise of arms against unlawful, violence. There we go.
But it also means anything you can carry, not necessarily guns.
So snipers finally on. After
I got a sling. I got a sling for my pit bull.
I got 2 pit bulls. Which one?
I got a blue.
Ooh.
I got an extra large one downstairs and an American one up here.
And he is currently starting school in a week.
Sweet.
My extra large bully is as big as my American bully already, and he's only 8 months old. Wish me luck.
Since I was told that I had to take my mat up by the homeowners association that said, if you think about breaking in my house, you better get right with Jesus.
And yes, that is probably the way they're going, bro. The House approved the motion and hey, quit that. You're interrupting. The House approved the motion, but it needs to go through several circuits of court to ban TikTok, but it may be the way they're going, which I can completely agree with, because I I'm sorry. I don't know if anybody else does this whole true crime binge when you're trying to sleep. But you should see how much TikTok's involved in some of those. It's kind of sad. It really is.
Listen, next week I'd like to get Spanny. I'm going to tell you now because I got to jump off. I got to get ready to go to work. Can
But
we
it's
get
not that
the
late there yet.
Huh?
But it's not that late there yet.
No, it's 2:30. I got to be in at 4. Can we get the mom on from South Carolina next week because she wants to give
I
her
can get her on Wednesday. So we're going to start Wednesday and Sunday shows from now on.
Okay.
Today was supposed to be Sniper and Apache, but only Snipe showed up halfway.
The Wednesday shows are going to have to be in the evening,
What time in the evening?
like 7 our time.
That's fine.
I got it. That's only afternoon for me. I'm good.
I know it's good for you. And I talked to Amber too. She said it was good for her too.
It works for me.
Amber, find me off of Tiffany's page.
I will.
So
I'll
as
send
you
you a
guys
link.
I can link you. He's in Wicked Warriors chat.
That works.
as you can see in the background, I have my model that I'm doing for the build off. And look what I got. The 1961 Lincoln that Kennedy was shot in.
Cool.
Is going on the car trailer. John Wick, Shaft's car, the Green Hornet, and the Batmobile. See, that's how I keep my sanity with this DSS garbage.
Well, everybody's got to have a hobby.
We
I
all
have a hobby, but the federal government told me I had to give it up. So
my hobby is how I met Sniper. I go game and kill things that I can.
Oh, wow. Hey, listen. If I put something in the chat, can everybody see it or just us?
Everybody.
All right, never mind. Tiff, I'm getting ready to text this to you.
Okay. I'll read it after the show.
Oh, no, you need to see this now.
Oh, uh-oh. I'm scared.
Ruh-roh.
You ready? I also want people to use their UCC too, because I know that once Larry learned how to use it, he's been using it to his advantage.
Oh, my God.
I sent him the state and the federal one, and he learned how to use it.
Hey, bro, was that supposed to be in Discord or was that supposed to be actually over here?
Who is that? This person I just asked you about? Because she's all over the pages, and I think she's another Vincent Davis.
Go.
Or
You see what I just sent you, Tiff?
Yeah, it came up. We'll have to talk after the show.
All right. Oh, yeah. When you start going into courtrooms and using the Constitution against CPS, they don't want no problems.
No.
They get real quiet real fast.
so
The UCC filings, I've used a few of those. But what I find intriguing is they don't even know how to use them themselves. So I've had judges literally go, "What does this mean?" And I'm like, why don't you read it?
Right?
You can revoke your signature off of anything, including marriage licenses, just so we're all clear.
Yep.
And divorce decrees.
You have the right. That's one of your inalienable rights. You have the right to contract or not.
I always tell families dealing with CPS to frickin' revoke your signatures too. Like, don't sign
tell them
shit.
don't sign shit.
Don't sign it.
Nothing. Don't
But
talk to them.
Right. But the problem is some of us that came to the game a little bit later didn't know a lot of this shit. So if you're ever in that boat, it's never too late to like pull your shit back and be like, I'm not contracting with you.
Listen, before I leave, here's the one thing that I've asked, and me and Tiffany talk about it all the time. A CPS or a DSS worker, investigator, is not sworn.
Nope.
They don't have a license.
They are no different than a bounty hunter or a repo guy, because it's a civil matter. Why aren't they sworn? The same reason they don't want to take the responsibility for bounty hunters, because they don't want the liability of being sued.
And when you sign a safety plan, you're admitting guilt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Sniper saying, families who sign ultimately leave themselves open to any liabilities or underhanded tactics by those enforcing those signatures. Always consult first.
Well, I'm here to tell you, you don't sign shit. And if they right, and if they force you to sign, you sign without prejudice and under duress. Put it right to credit.
Like when Alexander, our other client, did that. She signed under duress and then her name right next to it, which leaves it open for everything legal that we can throw at CPS, which I will be doing.
If you don't believe that it works, just watch Miss Wise's video when about 7 sheriffs showed up at her house. I was on the phone.
12.
I was like, sweet baby Jesus. I'm texting a bondsman. Look, man, we got this. I'm guaranteeing this bond. Look, Tiffany backed them down.
All the way out of to the end of my driveway in my nightgown.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was on the phone. When the videos came out, I was on the floor hollering.
And I was
The
giggling.
DSS workers trying to kick the door open. Oh, yeah. Oh, they was wilding. And
They ran my name. They ran my tag. They did everything they could. I told them. You could even hear my voice change, right? When I asked them if they had a warrant. And they said no. I almost laughed in their face, but I said, they know they can't get in my house. And you know you can't get in my house. She's going to say, oh, we're coming in. I said, get a warrant.
Look, I can't mention no names, but this happened down in Louisiana. So they had, this family lived out in the bayou. And they had some hog dogs out there. Well, the DSS worker busted in the house, and the 2-year-old said, sick 'em. It was a disgrace before God. That dog almost ripped that DSS worker's throat out.
Second Amendment. Whatever
he ain't busted in nobody else's house, and they didn't get charged because she was trespassing.
Yeah.
I said, good kid. I mean,
That 2-year-old said, sick 'em. And that dog went to work.
Well, that's what they're there for. And that's something else I want people to understand. CPS only calls the police because they're scared. The police can't do anything.
No.
The police can't do anything. And that's what I told them. You're only here protecting her. Well, yes, I know. How fortunate is it that you're on my property once again? Y'all probably all picked straws because you knew you was going to have to deal with this loud, big, blonde bitch. Right? So you all picked straws.
But wait, when the police come out, they're acting under a color of law.
They sure are.
So now, if you tell me I'm coming to repossess your car, that I got to leave because this is a civil matter, then what's the difference between CPS?
Calling child repo people. That's what I call.
No, us repo people got integrity about us.
Well, that's true. I used to repo cars too. I get it.
These are straight kidnappers.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, That's that. Please don't get me started. I mean,
I was on the phone with one girl. CPS was there. I told her what to say. CPS worker got mad, called the police. I said, don't worry. The police cannot take your child. They don't have a court order. And it's 4:05 on a Friday afternoon. They don't have time to go get one. The
And that's
police
another
officer,
thing. Even if
Yeah,
you're in
right.
the hospital, you need a court order.
yes. So the police officer is going to tell her, you need to hang the phone up. I said, don't you dare hang this phone up. You ask him if he's got his body cam on. So he turned his body cam on. He said, what's your advocate's name? And she said, Tiffany. He said, your advocate does not have your child's best interest at heart. I said, no, you tell him he does not have your child's best interest at heart because he knows there's nothing he can do.
I remember this too. But then we're back at their coercing parents.
Yeah. If you don't sign the safety plan, I'm taking your child into custody.
State versus Nicholson says you cannot take a parent from a mother or a father that's involved in a domestic violence.
Yep.
That's number
Do
one.
it all the time.
Yep.
That's because, okay, you're right. So that tells me that they don't communicate because that was the biggest lawsuit against DSS in New York City history.
Can you repeat that again? Can you do me a favor for a friend? Can you repeat that case one more time? One more.
State versus Nicholson out of New York. They cannot take your child for domestic violence.
Nope.
I used it in South Carolina.
And also,
And all of that, them bringing these MROs via Zoom, the United States Supreme Court put a stop to that too. And that case is New York versus Hemphill. They
Larry,
must be in the courtroom.
I'll be connecting with you later. Where has he been? Like,
where's who been?
You.
I'm always
around the whole time. Tiffany and I talk
I'm just in the shadows, Amber.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tiffany and I talk to him almost daily.
Yep.
Tiff, how long ago did we start this channel?
2021.
So CPS mainly setting children up to go through emotional and physical harm. They go to great lengths to defame, threaten, or victimize those who call out crimes committed by them.
Yes.
There's really no oversight into training ethics of their staff, and they really don't have any communication among themselves. They're also severely undertrained and underqualified to deal with people. This is very true. And this is coming from a medical person.
My 8-year-old can conduct an investigation better than a CPS investigator.
Well, I'm going to tell you what my lawyer said. She said CPS workers are nothing but high school dropouts that got bullied, and now they're in a power where they can turn around and bully somebody else.
Say it again so the ones in the back can hear.
Right. But the problem is they can't bully people like us.
No.
Because I told that bitch at the hospital, she said, you're going to sign this safety plan or I'm taking the baby into custody. I said, you're not taking this baby anywhere. You better go get your little court order at 10 o'clock at night.
Once again, I will exercise my Second Amendment right. I'm very big on the Constitution.
Oh, me too.
There's all sorts of pretty things you could use in a hospital room for a Second Amendment right. I mean,
yeah. Let's talk about that for a minute, right? Because I noticed that they'll go to the hospitals on Friday and they'll assume custody of this child, right? Because you're trapped. I'm starting to tell women, go have your babies with midwives.
Yeah, yes. And Tiffany and I have spent many, many nights on the phone due to this.
And I have a midwife. We have a midwife, Tiff.
Yeah, I know.
Still in business. We have a midwife.
Yeah. And the same weekend, it's ironic that same Friday that I was dealing with my baby mama or my babies, whatever, Fanny called me the same night, was like, you will not guess what's happening. And I said, what's in the water? Because I'm doing the same thing now.
I called you too because AJ was going through it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, listen, guys, I got to break off. Amber, we'll talk.
Sounds perfect. I look forward to it.
And listen, anything you learn from Tiffany, you do the damn opposite.
Whatever. Funny. That's funny because Larry's always calling me saying, hey, I need to run this by you and see what you think. Okay, Larry, keep it up.
Yeah, because I get real ignorant.
But he'll too, wait a minute. But he'll too say the same thing Spanny does. Now, before you go all half cocked, just listen.
Or my other favorite one, go eat a gummy first.
Yeah, that's what she tells me now. Tiffany, just go eat a gummy and then I'm going to call you in a minute.
Go eat a what?
A gummy, a CBD gummy.
Oh, no, I'm ready to go eat me a 50 milligram and there ain't no CBD in these motherfuckers.
No, Lordy.
But I'm in the legal state. I believe in the Second Amendment, and God made these trees, so let us smoke.
Hell yeah.
If you
It's an
ain't doing
herb.
nothing else with the quality of your life,
It's not an herb.
ain't
You're
no
right.
reason why you don't smoke. It's better than alcohol. We'll talk about the poison that they gave me, and I wound up in the county jail for 40 days.
Mm.
Do you still have your shop?
Huh?
Said, do you still have your shop?
My shop? No,
Yeah.
the federal government kind of closed that down.
Ah.
Bastards.
Look, I gotta go. I'll holler at y'all later.
All right.
All right.
If anybody wants to come on live with us, just let me know. I'll toss you the link.
That is so funny.
I'm kind of sad that I just met him. That would have been so helpful. Like,
He's our
I've
secret
known him
weapon.
for 4 years.
I've known him for three. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look up that case that he freaking cited.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's good. He's good too. He can find cases too.
He can find almost anything. You just give him
Yeah.
what you do.
He was a bounty hunter.
Oh, cool.
With our friend Don. Now they both can't do it right now, so they're going to go up for sheriff apparently.
Well, that's good. I know one thing. If shit don't change around in Frederick County, Virginia, Tiffany's running for sheriff. And I'm going to tell you, when I say there's going to be a new sheriff in town, oh, yeah, CPS will not be or my police officers will not be showing up with CPS to your door. Absolutely not. You better call the state police.
No, they don't even call the state police and report the crimes that they're aware of like they're supposed to.
That's
You
my
know, let's just throw that one out there.
That's my point. Call the state police, see if they come.
They ain't coming.
No, they're not. No, because we're going to do it the right way. And the right way says the sheriff is only supposed to get involved if a constitutional violation has been done. Okay. So why aren't they arrested? Huh?
Jessica says, get her information from Larry. She wants to keep in touch with us. I just sent her my name on Facebook and Wicked Warrior Family, since they can all find us there.
Yeah. Well, I know that they be trapping people in the hospitals. They be taking kids out of school. So this next school year, make sure you have your paperwork ready, notarized, and you send it to the governor, the attorney general, whatever your school people are in your capital, the local school board, and the principal. I got all 6 of them notarized, so I ain't gonna be no no, you all got it, because it's all being sent certified mail.
Sorry, he's being ornery. He needs to go make his coffee. Um,
I got everything notarized right here.
Well, there you go. But yeah, I think every parent and every kin person, whoever has these kids, needs to make sure those papers are written up, because CPS is under a belief that they can't be sued. Judges are under the belief that they can't be sued. Everybody's under the belief that they can't be sued, but they can.
That's a miscommunication. They're under the belief that they're untouchable. They've been given all this power, and they think that they cannot be touched because they have all this power.
Well, there you go.
Above the law.
go get your coffee. I love you.
I love you too.
Go get your coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. Ain't nobody above the law. You know, sometimes I just want to look at these people and say, who the fuck died and left you above the Constitution?
I feel like some of these things should be made into t-shirts. Like, I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, when I got in trouble in 1994, I had this shirt made, okay?
Uh-oh.
And it said, I'm not going to say the dude's name. I'm just going to use another name. It said, fuck Roger Rabbit, freak. I'm just saying me, Tiffany, right? I wore that to court. I knew they had a warrant for me. So I went to the police department because they arrested me in court. And they were like, oh, we like your shirt. Can we get one? I said, sure. Yeah. And then they're saying, what's your occupation? So here I go. I swear to God, I did this. I said, I'm a drug dealer. He said, Tiffany, what's your occupation? I said, I'm a drug dealer. According to Leesburg Police Department, I'm a drug dealer. He said, okay. So now he wants to be smart. So if you weren't a drug dealer, Tiffany, what would you be doing? I said, well, that's not what you asked me. You asked me what my occupation was. I said, and according to you all, I'm a drug dealer. So put I'm a drug dealer on the paper. Oh, he was pissed. Oh, I kept it up. I wore my shirt to court. Well, Roger Rabbit and some more shit. Oh, yeah, I don't care. I don't care. Yeah.
Or if you're paid off, you pay it all off. That's the other way you can be above the law. Just money talks.
Yeah, and if you look at these cases, if people really look at these cases, I mean, really look at these cases, only the rich people that got messed with sued them, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because now they only come after people that they think won't sue them because they don't have the money to sue them. The problem is people can go pro se, they can go in and represent themselves. As long as they're educated, you cannot disarm an educated person. You can disarm somebody with a Second Amendment right, as Larry was saying.
I can say this without saying names.
Is that who I think that is?
Larry's no longer on. Yes. He's been on for a while now, about 30 minutes. If anybody is charging you $4,000 for an appeal and they're calling themselves an advocate, they're a scammer. If anybody's charging you $7,000 for an effing birth certificate, they're a scammer. Move on.
Oh my God, you can go to your local DMVs now and get a birth certificate for like $12 or $14.
Actually, it's $53 online to expedite it. And it's $33 plus their $15 fee. But yeah, you can go to the DMV or to the Vital Statistics for like $30.
Well, you can get them here from the DMV and they're $14. They print them right there.
It depends on state. Up here.
Right. Well, in Virginia, you can.
Yeah.
They're $14 in Virginia.
Not $700.
Not $7,000.
Or $7,000.
And not $5,000. I've heard that one too.
Oh my. If you got that kind of money, you need to be hiring an attorney that's just as aggressive as me and Fanny and Amber and Larry. No.
I have learned that the paperwork is not being done properly by this individual as well. So
oh boy.
You guys are literally paying the thousands and thousands of dollars for your appeal to be denied.
When in all actuality, I think I said this earlier in the show, you can go Supreme and also go federal at the exact same time. and you can go appeals in Supreme, like Spanny said.
Rule 60, guys, look it up. I posted it in Wicked Warriors chat, and I can post it over the place. If
You
you got
know,
Rule 60, you can go through it.
right. Well, something else too. It's the right of the people to access the courts. Okay. They think I'm belligerent. And the last time my husband was in court, the judge had her glasses like this. She said, "Oh, Mr. Wise, or somebody." Then she looked at me, has been filing all this paperwork. Yeah, that was me. You know it was me. But anyway, um, I'm trying to look to see why more of these cases aren't in federal court, because
They all should be, really.
right, because they get federally funded. That means you can be in federal or state court, just like child support. Child support can be either too. They get
Well,
federal funding.
I'll tell you from being on that aspect, they like pro per litigants versus pro se. But most of the federal courts, I feel like the only one that's worth a shit at this point is DC, and I don't have the statute right now, but it's a United States Penal Code. The definition of a United States citizen. So the definition of a United States citizen, and it basically quotes it, and you can Google this. You're only a United States citizen if you reside in the District of Columbia.
Imagine that.
Find that intriguing, by the way.
Well, actually, that makes sense, because their territory is only supposed to be 10 miles. So technically, anybody outside of the 10 miles of District of Columbia is not in their territory. You should look it up.
It just makes you question taxation and everything in that skew of stuff. And I feel like power is knowledge and knowledge is power, however.com. I think a lot of us have all been in a spot where we've been coerced or didn't know what was going on. And I think Spanny has said it, and I will say it, and I know you'll agree with this. There are too many freaking Indian chiefs trying to fucking, excuse my language, lead, when everybody needs to realize that there is not one way that works. Like, Spanny has brought home 402 kids. Okay. Spanny's way of doing
204
fix it. Regardless, that's a shit ton of kids. And it's like, we've said this all the time. You can't just rely on one route. And like, until everybody realizes that we all have a different aspect or view or perception of this, and we all bring different things to the table, in order to kind of culminate all of this to fix it, I think a lot of pride and ego has to die across the nation under advocacy, because I think the egos are what is driving, especially some of these scammers.
And especially some of the people that are trying to go up to Washington, D.C. I know at least 2 of them that are trying to go through Washington, D.C. that are getting denied left and right because they're not doing it right.
I also know people that have appeals cases that are unappealable, and with that, and if they appeal it, it's against good faith judgment, and they're already held at prejudice. So I think the other aspect is, people are going to have to change their ways. Like, we've got to change the ways of the force, as weird as this sounds. Like, we have to utilize, our weaknesses and our strengths of every different advocate, because look at the court advocates. The court advocates per Virginia statute, by the way, and this is what makes me laugh, are required to speak on your behalf if you incite and, basically state my ADA accommodations require an advocate, there. So these court advocates that are being hired in the court system are there to speak on your behalf, but they're not allowed to. They're also required under Virginia statute and the Constitution of Virginia to report all active crimes to the state troopers for proper investigation. They're not doing that either. So, like, you have these advocates that are supposed to come to court with you through domestic violence, through whatever situation it is, including the ADA, and they can't speak on your behalf, but it's in the constitutions of most of these states.
Actually, the federal constitution does not say lawyer anywhere. It says counsel.
Correct. And the definition of counsel could be deemed under advocate or like your next door neighbor. Like I could hire you as my counsel to walk into court.
Yep. But they won't let you.
And there is many Supreme Court laws that will state that you can have an advocate. You just have to look them up and use them right.
Mm-hmm. I tried to do that for my husband. The judge literally wrote, Miss Wise is not affiliated with this case, nor is she a lawyer. What happened? That's what she said, because I was going to represent my husband. His
but
counsel.
If you go back to the Virginia Constitution, it allows that.
I know. They need to be educated. The problem is they don't want to be educated because they are using every single court case they get as their retirement fund.
So Snipe saying county lines are very obscure for every state. In some states, we pertain to the city, but when it comes to offering city resources to the public, we live outside the confines of the city ordinances, which is very true.
Up here.
And once again, let's remind people that rules, regulations, ordinances, etc., they're not laws. They are not laws. And most of them contradict the Constitution anyway. They can't even be enforced, but they're enforcing them because people aren't standing up and saying, hey, you can't do this. Unless it's me, because I tell them straight up, you can't do that. You can't tell me what to do. I'm your government. Bitch, I'm paying you with the tax money that I don't even have to do because I don't have to self-report. That he's asking if Chu's still on the camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tiffany is the boss lady. You're right, Apache. But you're still in trouble. Hello from Kentucky, Brenda.
Hello. And in fact, when I brought this up, I had all the Supreme Court cases on the ordinances. The judge rolled his eyes. Oh, why are you rolling your eyes? Because you know you're caught? Is that why you're rolling your eyes? Or do you think I'm just some stupid blonde bimbo that doesn't know what I'm talking about, but I've clearly got it right here in your face?
Do not apply to the private citizen unless we have a contract with them, and that doesn't include contracts by
acquiesce.
Yeah, that thing. Thank you.
Well, I don't even know what that means, but okay. And Amber, you're right. All the advocates, the real advocates, okay, we're all broke. I'll be the first to admit it. We all broke. We broke down, broke up. We're broke. Right? But some people just can't get over their pride because, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, or I can do it better than Amber can do it. No. Because what works for me and the stuff that I do might not work for Spanny or you or another advocate, right? So we all need to come together. And we've said this before. We all need to come together because each one of us do something very different. We listen to each other. And the biggest thing is we like each other. And
that's why we work together.
Right. So now I'm not talking about the people y'all was talking about because no. I mean, yeah, I've had people offer to take me out to dinner because I won't take their money or pay for my ink or my paper. I don't want your money. All I want at the end of the day is I want your kids to be home with you. That's priceless for me. Right. There's nothing that any money can buy if that can happen. So you're right. Everybody just needs to swallow their dick pride and work together.
I think my thing is too is like, I know for a fact, just meeting you guys throughout this entire process, like if it's Constitution, you go to TIF. Like, and if it's CPS, you go to Spanny. And like, if you go domestic violence or military, I'm here. But I've met so many advocates that have been in this fight. I mean, that have a way of doing things that are really outside of the box and they work.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But
I'll also tell you, most of the time when I get your case, because my specialty is termination cases. Okay, if you're going through the termination process and your court date's pretty soon, I'm just gonna wait. I'll flat out tell you, I'm gonna wait because I succeed in Supreme Court. Family court is just a joke. And Brenda is a former foster youth and erased mother, so I'm assuming CPS.
my condolences to you.
Well, that's why, because again, I don't know how many times we got to say it. If you're a woman and you have been in foster care, you are a target. Your name is on a list. The minute you pop out a baby, they're there.
Yep.
I know these people better than I can do their job. Okay. I would just do it the right way. I know what they're going to do. I know what they're going to say. I know the bullshit schemes that they pull. It's ridiculous. It's disheartening.
Well, I think the other thing that needs to be addressed too is I have met so many parents in this fight that have started, let's say, on the West Coast, and by the time their journey is over, they are on the East Coast, or they are in the Southwest, or they are in the Northeast. Like, these parents are literally having to be forced migrated to another place for their safety, for them to even have a fighting chance back for these kids.
Brenda,
And
how
to
long
me-
ago was your CPR?
To me, it's disheartening. Like I said, I have a case that started up in the Northeast, then goes to the Southeast. I mean, these law enforcement officers aren't even talking to each other. And here's my thing: the minute you go interstate, isn't that the marshal's jurisdiction? Shouldn't they be the
can go
one?
anywhere. The marshals can go anywhere.
But so my question is, if you have a state, like a case that's interstate, shouldn't that be immediately handed over so the marshals can actually review it, instead of like these families having to call and ask for federal assistance? Because now you've got law enforcement officers down in Florida trying to state that there's a warrant for somebody that there wasn't a warrant for, and you're dragging them all the way across the country. They don't really have jurisdiction to do that. None of these attorney generals are even being notified, which they're required under 18 USC 5033. Any minor child that is taken from one state to another is required to be pulled in front of a federal magistrate and signed off by the attorney general. Don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Amber,
I know.
M. Young, how long ago was your termination case?
hold on, the baby's up.
Oh wait, I guess that's my line or her line.
No, my line is my hand accidentally smacked me.
And this is why I'm not allowed on these things.
That is a correct statement, sir.
Bite me.
So, M. Young, you need to find me on Facebook. You have time. So when they put out the termination, so the date of that termination is signed and dated. You have 2 years to overturn that termination to get your kid back. And that's where oh, you got Jam. Okay, he's good. So you should be good. But yeah.
Oh, I do.
If you or him need my help with that, just let me know. I'm more than willing to help you.
I have a very stupid question, and you know you're not going to think it's
I,
stupid.
I have a very stupid answer.
There's no such thing as a stupid question, just a stupid answer. Yeah, the only stupid
If a
question.
termination of parental rights, let's say, is done in the form of an adoption, do you still have a 2-year statute to overturn it if you were coerced into signing documents?
If you can prove that you're coerced.
Okay, that's what I wanted to see.
Amber, what does that tattoo chest piece represent? Apache. Sorry.
Which one? Mine?
Well, you are
It
Amber.
means no. It depends
I
on
don't
the
have
day.
a chest piece, so
It means light from darkness. So
and
don't know if that helps.
it's not a problem, Young.
Probably not.
Let me know if Coco Melon's too loud.
Listen, I already know what you were going to say. You were going to say, Amber, I know it sounds all nice and great on paper, but we all know that shit isn't the way that shit works.
It's not even about paper. They play by no rules because they don't have to worry about anything. There's no accountability.
Yes, they do. Kentucky does allow reversal of termination. You just have to go up through the Supreme Court and do it right. Yes, Spicy. Everybody knows you and loves you, and yes, you are the mascot. Okay,
All right. So when are we going to start doing Wednesday shows?
this week.
That works.
Yeah, because apparently a lot of people want to come on, and we want to get you on.
Which one?
He said light one for Tiffany. So just get in touch with the one of the three of us so we can get you lined up. Spanny, we might have to start making a list.
I'm working on trying to put a calendar on the actual Facebook page. So we have a Facebook group, a Facebook page now. I just got to figure out where the heck it is. I'm getting used to that in the settings stuff.
Yeah, because y'all are younger than me. Y'all are better with this shit than I am. I'm just too old for all this.
Young, wait to sue DCS until after you get the termination overturned. And I've done cases out of Kentucky. I don't always broadcast what I do. It's kind of complicated, but I don't always broadcast because not everybody wants to be named.
What is this? What is the? Oh, she went too fast.
So they're saying that there's no in Kentucky they don't allow a reversal of termination. They do. You just got to prove it through the Supreme Court and do it right.
They have to. They have to. There's no state that can't say you can't fight a termination.
I've done it in Kentucky, but like I said, I can't always name people. I can just hit me up on Facebook. I will probably get back to people Monday because, well, today's Sunday, and usually I just do a little live and go about my Sunday.
Wow.
Yes, you have to mention it in a written motion, others they will ignore it. You're right, Kimberly.
What is the PKPA?
All right, Kimberly, you need to translate some of those letterings.
Yeah, because the alphabet does not do anything. I know what the UCC is.
Yeah, just hit me up on Facebook, Brenda. Ohio. That explains a lot.
I say we pick this back up Wednesday.
Oh, Parental Kidnapping Prevention Act. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Rosa is supposed to be on Wednesday. And then we have somebody else coming on. We got a list, and I got to figure out who's who, where, what, when, why. Sure. Me and I need to actually put the list together and chat with each other because we have about 2 months already. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess. I knew what the UCC was.
Uniform Child Custody Jurisdiction and Enforcement Act, and the Uniform Child Abduction Remedies and Return Act. Government is kidnapping kids from families. Yes, they do it all the time, Apache. Like literally daily.
Welcome to the club. You're a little slow.
Well, gee,
Yeah,
if
I
you
think
was
it's like
on
every
time.
7 minutes. Every 7 minutes, a child enters the foster care system. It's some ridiculous amount. It's too high.
Way too high. And if people knew their rights, they wouldn't be every 7 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to do a show on that too.
Well, we'll fit it in where we fit it in.
Yeah.
If you don't look at a specific act, they do not have to acknowledge the acts and rules.
That's
This
a
is true.
joke, but yeah, they do. That's how they play it.
It's just like if you don't mention the Constitution, your Supreme Court case it will not be accepted. If you don't mention federal laws that we revoked or violated,
Yeah.
sorry.
Spaney, is there any way that we can download the 4 hours that you and I did that one time on STI Media so we don't have to go over them again?
I don't know that download. I'll see if Don can get them to me if the channel's still open for that. I think it is though.
Yeah, because if we can put that up too. Because
I can throw the links in Wicked Warriors.
because me and Spaney did a 4-hour Supreme Court and federal court cases for people. And we had to do it in 4 separate things because it was an hour long each time.
Yep.
Hey,
And
Tiff,
there's
yes,
a
we
taking
can
it for
try.
everybody.
when we
And
get
yes,
off, I'm going to text you.
Who?
one of us.
Fanny?
No, Tiff.
Oh, I'm on the other
You're talking to
side.
the wrong person.
You could just text us both and put us in one.
Right?
That sounds perfect.
You're so funny.
Y'all tried forcing your community representatives? Yes, we have. They're all corrupt. I
One
about
shotgun shell at a time.
watch your mouth. I don't need this being revoked. I about flipped my lid when I actually read these acts.
You should also, like I said, entertain all the federal interstate laws, you know, like attempting or conspiring to commit an act of violence. An act of violence does not have to be physical. It can actually be psychological or mental.
Mm-hmm. Emotional.
Emotional damage.
1 second. You guys can see this.
Ow, 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 ow.
Okay, sorry.
Harder. I didn't feel that.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
So I think we
We'll
should
pull it down. Down.
end the show now
Sounds good.
and talk about our strategy for Wednesday. And everybody tune in on Wednesday. I think it's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern time because I have to work. And then it'll be better for Fanny anyway because it'll be later in the afternoon. But like I said, if you know anybody who wants to come on, you got a story to tell or you have more information that we don't have because learning never stops.
Oh, it's not
That's all
domestic violence when he likes it, Chewy.
I'm a glutton for punishment. Shut up.
I could cook
All
them.
right.
Yeah, we're gonna call it, guys. We're over our 1 hour minute anyway. So 3 p.m. my time, 7 p.m. Virginia time,
7.
Yep.
6 p.m. Texas time, or West Virginia, Ohio, Oklahoma, that area.
Colorado,
That's right.
Kansas.
Colorado's only 2 hours. Hey, Spanny, what's Amber's Facebook page? Larry. Hi, Kai.
I'll text it to you.
Hi, Kai.
Tyrell, say hi.
Hello.
He's busy eating his graham crackers.
He's like, I got food,
See
man.
you
Leave me
Wednesday.
alone.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Hold on.